Hello, friends.
Hello,
Hi.
Miss McCrae.
How are you today?
Good.
Are we ready to listen to our book today?
Yes.
All right. So today we're going to read the book Gaston by Kelly DiPuccio and Christian Robinson. How many of you have read this book before?
I have.
You have?
But it was a really long time ago.
Oh, so I bet you're excited to read it again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is this part called of the book? It's this part?
Front cover.
It's the front cover. How do we know it's the front cover?
It has the title.
It has the title. Who is the author of the book? Can anybody tell me who the author of the book is?
Kelly DiPuccio.
Yeah. What does the author do?
They write it.
They write the words, right? Mm-hmm. What about the pictures? Who does the pictures? Christian Robinson does the pictures. What do you call him? What's his job?
Illustrator.
Illustrator. That's a big word. Let's sound it out.
Illustrator.
Good. What's this part of the book called?
The side?
The spine?
The spine. Kind of like our spine, right?
Ooh.
And what's this part called?
The back cover.
The back cover. Very good. It's like the front cover, but the back.
Whoa, there are doggies on the back.
Yeah. So there is one doggy, though. What do you think about this doggy?
I think the doggie's name must be Gaston.
Yeah.
Because it's the only doggie on the cover, and that's the name of the book.
Yeah. What do you think about him? Does he look happy?
He looks very happy. I think he has lots of puppy friends.
You could make that. What do we call that? It's called a prediction. Remember that word? A prediction. What does that word mean?
It's when you make a guess.
A guess. That's very good. So we're gonna make a guess about the book, about the story. So when we make guesses about the story, we're gonna use the phrase "I'm thinking." Can we say that?
I'm thinking.
So give me a couple phrases or sentences about what you think will happen in this book. So I can write them down on a Post-it note and put them on our before section.
I think that the doggy will be the main character.
The dog will be the main character. And we'll stick that right on the before paper. What's another one? Give me one more.
I'm thinking that the dog has other doggy friends.
The dog has other doggy friends. All right, ready?
Yes.
Other Post-it note goes where?
On the before page.
Yes, on the before page. Why does it go on the before page?
Because we haven't read the book yet,
Yeah,
silly.
Because we haven't read the book yet. All right. Are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Gaston. Now, I'm not going to use a pointer because I'm just going to be reading to you. Okay?
All right.
So, listen. Mrs. Poodle admired her new puppies, Fifi, Foo-Foo, Ooh La La, and
Gaston!
Yeah, so you were right. It was Gaston on the front cover. Would you like to see them again? Fifi, Foo-Foo, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Perfectly precious, aren't they? Mrs. Poodle thought so too. The puppies grew as puppies do. 3 were no bigger than teacups. The 4th, however, continued to grow and grow until he was the size of a teapot. Whoa, look how big he is.
Why is he bigger?
I don't know. Mrs. Poodle took pride in teaching her puppies how to be proper pooches. They were taught to sip, never slobber. Good. Well done. Very nice. Nice try. They were taught to yip, never yap. Yip, yip, yip. Ruff.
Gaston doesn't know how to do it.
And they were taught to walk with grace, never race. Tip-toe, tippy-toe. Whoa. The puppies were also taught how to look pretty in pink, nibble their kibble, and ride in style. Whatever the lesson, Gaston always worked the hardest, practiced the longest, and smiled the biggest. Mrs. Poodle was very pleased with all her puppies, Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Spring arrived, and the proud mother was eager to show off her darlings. She took them to the park for their very first stroll in public. There was much to see: daffodils, ducklings, dogs. Oh dear, who do we have here? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. Would you like to see them again?
Yes.
Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. All right, we're going to stop in the middle now. So now we're going to write during our predictions during the book. So we've only read halfway through the book. What are we thinking now? Remember, use your I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that Gaston may not be the real brother of his sisters.
Why do you say that?
Because Gaston looks more like the other doggies. And Antoinette looks more like Gaston's sisters.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think will happen?
Maybe they'll just switch it.
You think they'll switch? You think they'll switch completely?
I wonder if they will. I'm thinking they might switch, but it might not work out.
All right.
Because he might miss some.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I would miss my siblings.
Yeah. So where are we going to stick these two Post-it notes?
On the during
Why?
part. Because we're in the middle of the book.
Yeah. All right. Time to continue. Let's see if you're right. This was more than a little awkward. The mothers sized up their pups. The pups sized up one another. It seems there's been a terrible mistake, Mrs. Bulldog said, breaking the silence. Oui, Mrs. Poodle agreed sadly. Whatever shall we do? Mrs. Bulldog could not come up with an answer. I guess we'll let them decide, she replied at last. Gaston and Antoinette were young, but even they could see that there had been a mix-up. The two puppies began to circle around and around the group. Gaston walked with grace. Antoinette raced. Gaston yipped. Antoinette yapped. And when they finally came to a stop, the puppies had traded places. There, that looked right. So what happened?
They switched.
They switched. So you were right.
But they kind of look sad.
It just didn't feel right.
Aww.
That evening, Antoinette tried to fit with her new sisters, but she did not like anything proper or precious or pink. On the other side of town, Gaston tried to fit in with his new brothers, but he did not like anything brutish, brawny, or brown. How do they look?
Sad.
They look sad, don't they? Antoinette and Gaston weren't the only ones who were having a hard time adjusting. Who do you think else is sad?
I think the mommies.
The mommies are sad. Why would they be sad?
Because they miss their dogs.
Yeah. The next morning, Mrs. Poodle forgot all about being proper and raced back to the park. Mrs. Bulldog was already there waiting with her burly brood. "It seems we've made a terrible mistake," she nearly shouted. "Oui, oui," Mrs. Bulldog agreed happily. "What do you think will happen?"
Switch back!
Why do you say switch back?
Because they'll be happy again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time, Gaston and Antoinette wasted no time trading places. There, that looked right, and it felt right too.
Aw, they look happy.
From that day forward, the families met in the park every afternoon to play. Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette taught the poodle puppies a thing or two about being tough. Likewise, Fifi, Fufu, Oolala, and Gaston taught the bulldog puppies a thing or two about being gentle. And many years later, when Gaston and Antoinette fell in love and had puppies of their own, they taught them to be whatever they wanted to be.
Aww.
The end.
I like that.
That was a good book.
All right, so now it's after the book. So what do you think will happen after the book?
I'm thinking that some of the puppies will choose to want to be proper, but some of them will choose to want to be reckless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some will be gentle and some will be tough, and that's okay
Yeah, right?
because they get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
But Gaston and Antoinette didn't get to choose to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So did this have a happy ending?
Yeah. Because they were still family after all.
Yep. So were we right in the beginning with before? That the dog has other friends?
Yeah.
Did the
Yeah.
dog have other friends?
Yeah.
Antoinette's family.
Mm-hmm. And the dog on the cover was the main character. Was he the main character?
Yes, it was Gaston.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And then during the book, we said Gaston may not be their real brother. Were we right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we said they also might switch. Were we right about that?
They
Twice.
did.
They switched twice.
Yeah, they switched twice. Very good. And then after, some puppies will be gentle and some puppies will be rough. Do we know? Do we know the outcome
No.
of that? Does it say in the book?
No.
No. But do we think so?
Yeah.
The author, you might write a second one.
Yeah, I think they did write a second.
They did?
We should read
It's
it.
about the other puppy, Antoinette. The one that he falls in love with.
Oh, we should read that one.
Mm-hmm. All right.